Hello humans, and welcome to Atlas Mega 10 Mondays. It's that time again when we discuss all things Atlas and all things Shin Megami Tensei and everything else in between in the Atlas universe. So sit back, relax, and let's see what we're going to talk about today in the Atlas Mega 10 universe. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. On today's episode...
Oh yeah, Maken X. Is this part of the Shin Megami Tensei universe? I say yes. Let's talk.
Excuse me. Oh man, this guy had it on eBay and with no pictures. So I contacted him and I said, is the game complete? Does it have a case, manual, everything? He said, yeah. You know, I haven't played this game for 20 years. And I got it. It was the cheapest one on the site. You know, once my game hoarding instincts start going off, I had to get it, right? But what I remember about this game is that it was being made at the same time as Persona 2 as a side project. And if you go back and look at old interviews from Kazuma Kaneko, he said that he felt limited with Persona, you know, and Shin Megami Tensei in general because of the way the games were going, you know. He didn't specifically say why, but it seems that they wanted to go to a certain direction that would limit his artistic freedom in what he could design for the games. And he wanted to branch out into different things. Now, if they could do things like they do today, for example, like they do with Star Wars, you know, where they say Star Wars, and they call it a Star Wars story, you know, and it could be a completely different character. If they could have done that with this, and they could have called it Maken X, an SMT story, it would have been amazing, because then he could have done many things with this, right? Even with this game, he was very excited of the things he could do. Upon interviewing them again, actually on their second interview, if you guys go look at it, since they weren't working on the project full time, you know, it was sort of like piecemeal that they did it. They didn't fully take advantage of the engine, they said. And, you know, so who knows what more they could have done. I mean, the designs in this game are all Kazuma's. I mean, you could just see it, you know, you could feel through it. You can see the Persona 2 shine on here. You can see the SMT shine on this game. And if they would have just called it an SMT story, they could have gone so many different directions with this, you know, just creatively. Too bad the game didn't succeed, you know, the game didn't sell a lot. But with Atlas, you'll never know. You know, they'll do something that out of left field, you know. And not that they would do it with this game, but, you know, if they would do that with the SMT series and start telling different stories where the artist would have more artistic freedom to take chances and do different things, you know, that would be amazing. Because look at the things that come off. Look at Strange Journey, for example. You could really bring in new concepts, tell different stories, and they don't necessarily have to follow a Persona or Shin Megami Tensei line. It could just be a story. I mean, the games have branched out before, and, you know, some of the results have been amazing. Digital Devil Story comes to mind, for example. Raido. I mean, so many different things you can do with this series, you know, because creatively it gives you so much. But at that point, you know, he felt as an artist kind of limited, and he was really happy about working on this game. Now, one of the things that amazes me when I look at reviews from this game, I like to look at reviews from people from different generations, because especially younger people say, well, this game, you know, sucks, basically. I mean, they might admire SMT or Atlas or what have you, but, you know, they'll talk about, I'll give an example, wording that they use, for example, the translation, the English that they use, the English dub, it's terrible, right? And it is, you know, it's so cheesy for people of this generation who have experienced so much better quality in their games. But for those of us who grew up back in the, you know, Speed Racer era, Ultraman, you know, this is exactly what we got. So that the game holds a different charm for us. Because this is the kind of dialogue, this is kind of translation, English dub that we're used to. You know, corny, cheesy words that are, you know, nobody would ever use in a conversation, out of time, you know, emotionless, you know, in parts where there should be a lot of emotion, and too much emotion, parts where there should be none. And that's what makes this game charming, at least for people of my generation, you know, especially those of us who love Atlas and admire Kazuma Kaneko's work, you know. And I'm really glad I got this game. What I'm gonna do, just so I can share these jewels with you, so you can hopefully appreciate it from a different point of view, is play the intro to the game at the end. And then if you can, go look at some of the old stuff, you know, go look some early Ultraman, some early Speed Racer, some early, you guys called it Transer C here, but it was Messenger C. And that's what we got when we were kids. And it's reflected here in this game. I guess the voice budget wasn't all that great, but, you know, Kazuma was in there, and that's what makes it an SMT story for me, or it should have been anyway. Alright guys, thank you for putting up with me. Sorry for the late video, but I will catch you on the next one. Never ever be afraid to be happy. Take care.
Is there anything else?
We haven't given it identification yet. Any ideas for a name?
Random numbers are fine. It's just artificial intelligence.
It still has life like we do. There's really no difference.
Fine. Then why don't we let it decide? We'll let Maken decide. Not too bad for an artificial brain.
Say it like you mean it.
Wow, there's an underground facility at the lab.
There, that's Maken. Has it been awakened yet?
Soon, my dear.
I thought the Maken project was strictly confidential.
What's Kay doing here?
Chief Sagami wants her to see everything. That's why he brought her here.
Is that thing really alive?
Well, we haven't implanted its psi yet. Its form is there, but its mind is empty.
Uh-huh. I know. Well, that's why we're giving it a mind.
A mind? How's that possible?
By temporarily transferring the psi of a human to its artificial brain. After receiving the stimulus, Maken will build up its own world of psi. As a result, Maken will become a mindful entity with its own self.
You've been studying, haven't you?
I'd like to work here one day.
Hey, why is Kay's tutor here?
Well, that's because Fei Chao has the gene that is required to wake Maken up.
Don't you think Faye's amazing? He's so cool.
Yeah.
Father, can I take a closer look?
Sure, go ahead.
This is the first awakening experiment ever. Are you scared?
No, I believe in your father.
All responses are positive.
Checking the psi. Rise and shine, Maken.
What? What's going on?
Follow the blood agreement, and you will protect everyone. Take the sword.
Faye! Faye! No! No!
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.